Ida for taking advantage of my GF? I feel like I'm about to get flamed, so throw away. My GF and I have been together for 3 years. Since we started dating, we have a tradition of paying for each other for dinner for our birthdays. We don't have a limit on how much that meal would cost. My GF doesn't drink, she at most has a mocktail or a sparkling water. I usually pay $100–150 for both of us for her birthday dinner. My birthday was 2 days ago and we went out. I drink, which my GF doesn't like, and she thinks it's a waste of money. But it's my birthday and she agreed to pay for everything. I had 8 drinks and a steak and dessert at a steakhouse which cost about $200, and with her $70 meal, it came to $310 with tips. She didn't say anything at the time, but last night blew up at me for drinking so much money and expecting me to cover it. I defended myself because it was technically unlimited, and no, I wasn't drunk. I have a pretty high tolerance, so it's not fair I can't enjoy myself. She is pretty frugal, so she thinks it's a crazy amount, and I was an asshole for leaving her with this high of a bill. We agreed we would pay for each other's meals and drinks, and it's not my fault she doesn't normally get more than 1 drink, and it's non-alcoholic, so it's cheaper. But she has been ignoring me and refusing to talk it out. If she's that upset, I'll reimburse her for my portion, but then that's the end of our tradition, YTA, but not for taking advantage of the situation. A deal is a deal. If this was a contract, you'd have caveats for anything off base. I assume you didn't, so you're not bound to honor what I would call an assumed agreement of fairness. But that's why YTA. Instead of dealing with the real issue here, apparently you have very different definitions of what an acceptable level of drinking is, you pushed the envelope, not only by making her come along for your 8, seriously bro, 8, drinks, but making her pay for it. Passive-aggressive AF. You did this spoiling for a fight and you got one. You're mad about being rained on your drinking, so you push back like this? YTA, yeah, dude has a tolerance where 8 drinks in one sitting isn't a big deal to him, but I guarantee the GF is just watching this guy get hammered day in, day out at the expense of the relationship. Also, I feel if your partner was upset about the cost, and you could clearly see that, if you didn't think it was a lot, you would just send her the money to cover his drinks. The fact he is posting about it makes me feel like he's actually thinking it is a lot of money in comparison, but is hoping to get some justification for his own peace of mind. Absolutely. The fact that he's posting this means it isn't a negligible amount of money. But she has been ignoring me and refusing to talk it out. If she's that upset, I'll reimburse her for my portion, but then that's the end of our tradition. Given she doesn't drink, I think it's going to be definitely beneficial for her to end this tradition. If OP still has a girlfriend after this little tantrum about how he wants to get drunk while she watches on and pays for it, she'll be saving money over the ending of this deal. That part made me roll my eyes so hard. Oh no, the big spender won't drop $75 for her birthday anymore. What a punishment that is. The fact that he wants to punish her for being pissed off at his gross display of binge drinking is very telling. This post was just dripping in resentment. In fact, I wish she could see it, just so she can really see what he thinks. It is a ridiculous amount, IMO. OP suggests he spends like $150 for the both of them for her birthdays. Then proceeded to eat and drink literally double almost by himself. He's a dick who probably sucks at reading a room. So that means that he obviously doesn't drink like a fucking fish on his own dime. He couldn't clearly see anything. BC, he was drunk. 8 drinks is a lot. 8 drinks over the course of dinner is a huge problem. My dad could put away 8 drinks in a night. He was also a fucking alcoholic and died in his early 60s. As an Australian. I'm surprised to learn that 8 drinks is a lot, but I still say YTA because I feel he's taken advantage of the arrangement. He said he paid $100–150 for her birthday dinner, but how much of that was his own food, drink? So he's paying $40–50 on her for her birthday dinner, and she's paying $200 on him for his birthday dinner. Doesn't pass the pub test. 8 drinks in one sitting for a meal with your significant other. Think about that. You're supposed to be having a meal with that person and enjoying their company, not trying to pregame for a game or concert. And the fact that she wasn't drinking makes it even more weird. Like, I can sorta understand throwing back 8 drinks if you are with a bunch of friends who are also drinking, but to drink that much with someone who isn't. Like, tell me you're an alcoholic without saying you're an alcoholic. 5 or more drinks is generally the definition of binge drinking. 8 drinks isn't a lot across a whole night of drinking, but 8 drinks at one dinner? That's insane by most people's standards. Unless this dinner was like 5+ hours long, it's excessive by any measure. 8 drinks across the whole night sounds like a lot to me. But then again, I don't drink. I mean, I have a decent tolerance because I'm tall and thick, so can do 1.5-2 drinks an hour. So if I go out for like 6 hours, 8 wouldn't be insane. It would definitely be a party amount, but not insane. There is no world in which it's a sane amount for a casual dinner with a sober person. I quote, "am Irish and 8 drinks is a lot. Especially only over the course of one meal. That's like 3 hours. One drink every 23 minutes is a lot. I'm Australian too, and this guy is an asshole YTA. And not just the getting drunk part. That's a no-brainer. But also because he is treating this like, oh, we usually split the bill when one person eats a 3-course meal plus drinks while the other has salad and tap water. Yeah, that's the cases where you obviously don't split evenly. It's not about whatever deal you have on, it's common sense, and not taking the piss. And that's his girlfriend, mind you. Like WTF, some guys are douches. Even my ex wasn't right at that level of douchebaggery, and he dumped me over voice chat. Waiting, wistful, fall off beat, slim, ruthless, shocking, decide, provide, unite. This post was mass deleted and anonymized with redact. He has a high tolerance. It was barely a buzz, i.e. I'm a raging alcoholic. Spending double the amount he normally spends on her is absolutely taking advantage of their deal. No hard limit doesn't generally mean spending your partner's money however you like. And the way he ends this post is so ridiculous too. I guess I'll send her the money, but there goes our tradition. As if that hurts her, she's going to be saving herself hundreds of dollars a year. And I hope she goes out to birthday dinner with her girlfriend. This guy sucks. He is still the asshole for taking advantage of the situation though. You're supposed to care about and love your partner, not take every cheap shot at getting some money out of them. Like just because it's technically fair game doesn't mean it's not a dick move. The clear implication of paying for dinner is to cover one meal, 1, 2 drinks, and maybe 1 dessert. Anything above that is really pushing it. She was supposed to pay for a meal, not a night out. His first drink or 2 comes with food, so that's cool, but when he goes and gets drunk off her dime, that's too far. It's also clear that the girlfriend does not do this. That means that this isn't established to be fine within the contract. He also knows she's frugal and doesn't like to spend, so he put her in an uncomfortable situation where she can't really say no cause they're in public and it's his day. YTA. JFC, are you 21 or something? Who the hell orders 8 drinks at a birthday dinner with their girlfriend? I have a pretty high tolerance, so it's not fair I can't enjoy myself. You can't enjoy yourself unless you're drunk. You need to get your shit together, dude. You took the words out of my mouth. 8 drinks. 8. Look, I am Dutch and the Dutch can drink a lot. Not as much as some other nationalities, though. I don't drink alcohol myself for the last 3 years, and before I didn't drink a lot either. So I have seen a lot. But 8? Come on. That is too much for a casual birthday dinner. After 8 drinks, someone is definitely drunk or at least highly intoxicated. This sounds a bit like an alcohol problem. I don't drink, and my partner does, and I'm giving him the side eye of he orders a 3rd beer over dinner. Maybe 4th if it was a 3-course meal or very slow service. And my partner is a drinker with a high tolerance. 8 drinks is 4+ hours worth of drinking without the interruption of eating. Did dinner take 4+ hours? Leaving aside your alcoholism, YTA, still, because when someone takes you out for dinner to treat you, that isn't a license to spend as much money as you physically can. When you were paying, the total bill was less than your personal share of the bill when it's her turn to pay. That makes you the A. You took the piss, and now you have to deal with the consequences. There was a thread a little while back where the BF was trying to take his GF and her friends out for dinner for her birthday. Told her, privately, he would cover for everyone. She then announced to the table they could order whatever they like with no worries, since he was covering, and due to the way they were ordering, I believe, and the additional disrespect they were showing him, he left them to foot the bill. This reads to me as something similarly. Someone offering or being generous does not allow or forgive the abuse of that generosity. Who the hell has 8 drinks when their date doesn't drink? Who the hell has 8 drinks at a restaurant? That shit is so overpriced. I love some drinks, but I max out at 2, maybe 3 on special occasions. You can have nightcaps at home that aren't 4x the cost. That quote S the part I keep going back to. If I'm out with my husband, who doesn't drink, I might have 1 cocktail, maybe 2, if he's like, go ahead if you want, because that shit is so expensive. I can go home and make an old-fashioned for a fraction of the cost. For real. I can't imagine sipping my 1 drink while the dude across from me chugs his way through 8. If I was the GF, I'd have ditched after the 3rd or 4th. Someone who likely relies on his girlfriend to always be his DD. That's a shame, because he was supposedly out with his girlfriend. Shouldn't that be enjoying himself, right? Like if you can't enjoy yourself unless you're 8 drinks in, pregame at home before dinner like any other self-respecting alcoholic. Yta. Even if there's no limit, there should be an understanding of keeping it relatively consistent. The tradition is paying for a nice dinner, not paying for you to go get shit-faced. I don't care how much tolerance you have. 8 drinks is a lot, and not in line with any normal dinner in my book. 1 or 2 drinks? Sure. To be honest, I would consider having 8 drinks on a date when the other person isn't drinking to be behavior on its own, even without the money angle. I'd say I have a high tolerance, but 8 drinks over the course of an entire night would get me pretty drunk, so 8 over the course of a meal is quite a lot. So I'm guessing OP was drunker than they realized, especially since no one is born with a tolerance that high. If he really wasn't drunk after 8 drinks, he must regularly drink a shit ton to build up such a tolerance. And I'm sure GF was absolutely thrilled to be financing this because he can't enjoy himself having a nice sober meal with his girlfriend. It's like when your parents take you to the toy store and tell you to pick out something. You generally understand you can't go grab the $500 Lego set even if no limit was specified. Though if it's a relative you don't like offering. Yeah, the absurd drinking aside, my GF and I also don't have a hard limit on how much we'd spend on one another for dinner. I still wouldn't dream of exploiting that for hundreds of dollars in drinks and steak just because we don't have a limit. It's pretty clear he'd never voluntarily pay for that if it were on his dime. When he takes her out, he's clearly drinking conservatively. If the bill is only $150, I don't expect my GF to buy me anything I wouldn't buy for myself. Hell, I'd be pretty upset if she tried to buy me half of the things I do want for myself, because if I don't already own it, it's because it's way too expensive. Yeah, some people take the, well, they're paying thing way too far. Just because they're paying doesn't mean you can go apeshit. Not to mention, I love his justification of, it was my birthday, I have a tolerance and wanted to enjoy myself. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy the occasional night out of getting hammered, but it's so strange to me for 2 reasons. One is the obvious implication that he's not enjoying himself unless he's drunk. But 2, is a night out with your significant other not enough to have you enjoy yourself? I realize that I'm biased because I don't drink, but it's just so odd to me to go, I want to have a night out on my birthday with the love of my life, but also I want to get hammered,